All right, let's talk about some of those habits you might have, the ones people call weird. What if the things you've been told are flaws? The messy desk, the talking to yourself, what if those are actually signs that your brain is just working on a whole other level? We're going to dive into a couple of the big ones. I mean, we've all been there, right? You're deep in thought, you're in the zone, and someone walks by and says something about the chaos on your desk. The implication is always the same. Your clutter must mean your mind is just as disorganized. And then there's the self-talk. You're working through a really tough problem, muttering under your breath, and you look up and catch someone giving you that look. You know the one. People just write it off as being a little odd. But what if all of that is totally wrong? I love this quote because it just nails it. You aren't crazy. Your operating system is just more advanced. See, this isn't about being messy or strange at all. It's about your brain running a different kind of software, one that's built for high efficiency.
So, let's try to crack that code, shall we? We're going to look at these habits not as things you need to fix, but as clues to a highly optimized way of thinking.
So here's the big question we're asking today. What if these supposed flaws are really secret handshakes of a super efficient brain? It's time to stop looking at them as weaknesses and start understanding them for what they are, strengths.
Okay, first on the list, the messy desk. The truth behind this is, honestly, so fascinating. It really flips the whole idea of cleanliness is next to godliness right on its head. So the myth is simple. Messy desk, messy mind. But the reality? Oh, it's so much cooler. It's actually a sign of a brain that knows how to prioritize. To a highly focused mind, organizing stacks of paper is way down the list compared to, solving the actual problem at hand.
There's actually a name for this. It's called selective organization. The idea is that your brain has a limited amount of energy, right? So it makes a strategic choice to ignore the low-priority stuff, like physical clutter, so it can throw all of its power at the high-priority mental work.
Your brain is literally choosing to be efficient mentally over being tidy physically. The mess is just what happens when you're in deep focus mode. So you gotta stop thinking of it as a bug in your system. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's the feature that allows for that intense concentration. Okay, so let's shift gears from your desk to, well, your voice. Let's talk about talking to yourself, because this habit might just be one of the most brilliant cognitive tools you have in your arsenal.
And here we go again with the myth versus reality. The myth says talking to yourself means you're kind of losing it, but the reality is that it's an incredibly efficient way to organize your own thoughts. You're not losing your mind, you're using your mind in a really direct and powerful way.
They call this verbal reasoning. When you actually speak your thoughts out loud, you force them to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You're basically taking this big, messy cloud of ideas in your head and turning it into a straight line. And once it's a line, you can see where it works and where it breaks.
Think about it. Have you ever been totally stuck on something, and the second you start to explain it to a friend, the answer just pops into your head? Well, talking to yourself is the exact same thing. You just need the friend. It's like a direct hotline to your own brain's logic center. So, when you put these two things together, the messy desk and the self-talk, you start to see a pattern, right? These aren't just random quirks. They're signs of a brain that is laser-focused on efficiency and deep thinking. It really is a more advanced operating system. So, let's boil it all down. For a brain like this, how your mind works is way more important than how your desk looks. Your brain is just wired to find the fastest, most direct path to the solution. And those habits that other people call weird, turns out they might be your best tools for the job.
And that's really what this is all about. Being smart isn't about trying to act normal or fit into some predefined box. It's about knowing how your own brain works and leaning into the things, no matter how strange they seem, that help you think your best.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's a so-called flaw that you have that might actually be your hidden strength? Really think about it. That little weird thing you do when you're solving a problem, that might just be your superpower in disguise.